Guys, what's up, everybody? It's your girl L coming to you live from the ATL. Of course, welcome to Gmar It Ain't Over. Today's topic is check on yourself. You know how I'm always telling you guys to check on people. And I encourage you to check on people because we want to make sure our loved ones are doing well, physically and mentally. But today, I just want to encourage you guys to check on yourself. Yes, because if you want to become the best version of yourself, then from time to time, you need to sit down in front of the mirror and look at that person, look at that reflection, and you just want to say, who are you? Like, who am I? We're never going to become the best versions of ourselves unless we do this, unless we check on ourselves, right? We got a plethora of check boxes when we want to find a mate. We're always saying things like, oh girl, he checks all the boxes. I hear people saying, yes, Same thing with the guys. Oh, she checks all the boxes. But do you have boxes? We have all these boxes for other people, but do we have these boxes? Do we have boxes for ourselves? Can you go through the same checklist of boxes that you have for other people and check them off for yourselves? A lot of people out there are saying, I want to get married. When I feel like you might want to be saying, I want to become a wife. People are saying, I want a new Mercedes, but they don't want the bill for those expensive tires, and all that maintenance, because every little thing. I remember my friend had a Jaguar one time, right? And she took it, the headlight went out. It ended up being something like $1,500. So, yeah, So all I'm saying is that the same criteria we use for other people in life, we do need to be having some check boxes for ourselves. And so we want to sit there and we want to look at ourselves again, and we just want to ask, who am I, right? There are 3 questions I feel like that can help you become the best version of yourself. Now, there are more questions than the 3, but the 3 that I have today, number 1 is, are you accountable? Most of us are accountable when it comes down to the job, right? Because we know if we don't follow the rules, we will lose our jobs, we will get fired. But there's nobody to set the rules. There's nobody to be accountable to except ourselves when we set goals for ourselves. And when we express our dreams and our aspirations to ourselves, nobody hears us most of the time. A lot of the time, it's just something that we want to do. It's like, I want to one day become a dancer, or we were dancing, or we were playing an instrument, and one day we hope to become famous in that area. And so we got married, we had children, and now we allow the children to take over. And that's because we don't have just one little key ingredient that's called time management. You have to make time. You really actually have to make time, because life is going to happen. Life is going to continue to happen. Life is always going to be a funeral. There's always going to be a wedding. Someone's going to get sick. Someone's going to be in an accident. And if you allow all these things to take precedence over your dreams and your aspiration, then you're not being accountable. You're not being accountable to yourself. And later on down the line, just say you're a mother. I hear all the time divorces taking place because somewhere, in the process of being a mother and a wife, A woman will often say, I've lost myself, right? And that's because she put the things that she felt were more important ahead of her dreams and her aspirations. But it's not a good thing when it causes resentment, because some women do actually resent their families or their children, their husbands. And as I say, divorces have taken place because people are not being accountable to themselves, but blaming others. And I mean, they can't help it. They don't really see the big picture. And so the other thing, the next question number 2, is, do you love yourself? If you can't come up with like three reasons why you love yourself, or 3 things that you love about yourself, like instantaneously, then you probably don't know what things you do love about yourself. You don't know what things make you valuable. Things that make you valuable. And the things that make you valuable can not only just make you valuable to the world, make you a valuable person on the job, make you a valuable person out here in society. These are things that make you valuable to yourself. Because love starts with self-love. Have you ever heard the term, charity starts at home and then spreads abroad? If you are operating on less than 100% or a very high percentage of self-love, then you can't give what you don't have. You can't offer someone else 100% of love in a relationship. You're not going to be living up, and you can't even expect 100% because you don't have 100% to give. And a lot of times we are setting goals and we're setting aspirations when we really haven't actually asked ourselves, who are we, right? We don't know our value. We have to think of ourselves. I remember one time that I did this 5,000 piece puzzle, right? I put this whole 5,000 pieces together, and trust me, baby, when I tell you, it's hard. There's tiny little pieces, but every one of those tiny little pieces were what came together to form the big picture. When I finished the puzzle, I looked and I realized that I had lost like a couple of pieces, and I looked around, I looked everywhere, and they weren't there. And I thought, oh my God. So now I can't even appreciate the beauty of the picture that was formed with these 4,099 pieces, because that one piece is missing. You are important, you are valued. And you just have to realize it. You have to realize it. You have to love yourself. You have to appreciate yourself. And occasionally, you gotta be the one to speak over yourself. You gotta look in the mirror. Now, you gotta look in the mirror and say, hey, thank God, for me, hey, I'm whatever, right? Whatever it is that you think you are, that increases your value, right? You got to appreciate the fact that God gave you certain gifts, and you have to acknowledge yourself, and you have to say thank you. Thank you, Lana. Thank you, Elle. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being the force that creates the momentum to make change and causes me to be the very best version of myself. And I'm not all the way there, right? But I'm getting there, because sooner or later you have to realize these things. Everybody, you have to realize also that everybody's not on the same page as I am and you're going to be once we're done with this check. We're done checking on ourselves, right? And so when you start to appreciate yourself and your value, of course, it's going to increase your stock. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna automatically just be a more valuable person, you know, to other people. Yeah, so we don't want to get the big head, and that's where I was going with that. We don't want to get the big head because everybody's not on the same page with this self-love, right? And you never want to become an obnoxious, you know, me person, I know everything, you know, type person, right? Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that, right? But hey, you know, we're having a private moment here. So we're in front of the mirror and we're looking at ourselves, right? You're looking at you. And these are things that you're telling yourself, right? You're naming the 3 things. You're gonna name 3 things, and you may have to sit there and you may have to study for a little while, but sooner or later, you should come up with something, right? I don't care if it's your butter biscuits and the fact that you're willing to even make the butter biscuits to bring joy in other people's lives. There is something valuable about you. And then the third thing that I think that people need to examine is, or ask themselves, is that, are you a leader or are you a follower? Now, you know, the first thing, everybody, I think, you know, because we know how the world is today. Everybody, you know, this is not, it might not be your first rodeo in self-love, but I see that the millennials and people that came behind my generation are more apt to practice self-love than people of my generation, because we were taught to be modest, low-key, right? And so I have to look for like inspirational quotes and things like that. I've had to do it all my life, right? Or I started to do it as I became an adult. And some things to encourage myself. I love that song, Speak Over Yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord, right? Is the rest of the song, but the words are speak over yourself and encourage yourself, right? To be the best version of your life and to love yourself and to recognize who you are in your place in life. And so we have to stay in our own lane, because when it comes down to, like I said, are you a leader or are you a follower? Everybody's gonna raise their hand, I'm the leader, but everybody can't be the leader. And if you don't recognize your place, your true place in this piece of puzzle, then you're gonna be a misfit. You're gonna be out of your lane, and you're gonna find yourself in some awkward positions. And so everybody can't lead, because followers need somebody to follow, and leaders need somebody to follow them. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, followers wouldn't have anybody to lead, and leaders wouldn't have anybody to follow, and there would be no value for leaders. So everybody wants to be the leader role or play the role of the leader, but who's gonna follow? I mean, you know, what's the purpose if you don't have people who need to follow? People who need people. There was a saying a long time ago, people who need people. I believe it was a song. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And now you can see there's value in those words, right? Yeah, everybody can't be a leader. Everybody can't be rich. Everybody can't be a movie star, because the movie stars need someone to do their hair. And so you're thinking, oh, I'm a meager stylist. I'm a meager hairdresser, hairstylist, whatever. She's the star. But in actuality, you are that piece of the puzzle that makes her a star. You make her shine. And that's why you're there. I mean, you know, like I said, I don't have to tell everybody this. Some of us are like full of ourselves, but yeah, it is of value. It is of great value to sit down and check yourself. Check yourself. there was a thing, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And so all of these ingredients, you know, the self-confidence, knowing, you know, where you fit into this big piece of puzzle. You know, this is a big, big world out here. And again, look at it as a puzzle. One piece is no more important than the other piece at the end of the day. We're all different pieces. We're all different shapes and sizes and colors, and we connect branches. We all need one another. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. But as I say, realization, checking yourself is just the best solution to becoming the best version of yourself. So as soon as you possibly can, like I said, maybe not today, maybe not this moment, grab a seat, sit down in front of that mirror and look at that person in that mirror and just say, who are you? Take time for yourself. Of course, we want to do all things groom. We want to have our physical outer appearance the way we want it to be. But a lot of times, if we take that same attention to detail, to the details of our goals and our aspirations in life, then we will do what it takes to correct the misbehavior. And so, yeah. Now, I hope that you see the need for the whole conversation. Check on yourselves. And I encourage you to do it. Check in on people, check in on me. As a matter of fact, I'd like you to leave some comments in the comment box, you know, just to let me know. I mean, what you came up with when you sit down and you did your little check on me exercises, right? Check on yourself. Find out who you really actually are so that you can be the best version of yourself to others and serve others in a way that is comfortable for you and for them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. And thank you so much for joining. I hope that somebody out there was inspired by what I'm saying, because that is what this whole channel has been developed for. I realized at some point in my life that I wanted to be a person of substance, as well as a person of fashion. I studied fashion and beauty. I worked in the fashion and beauty industry all of my life. And a lot of people just look at that, you know, like I said, as vanity or whatnot. But I also wanted to stand for something. I just want to give back. I go to different celebrations of life, and sometimes I listen, and people have a whole list of check boxes, you know. They're saying the person has lived, oh, she was a part of this and she was a part of that, and she gave to this society, she gave to that society. And yeah, she just, you know, like, this person lived a great life. We don't have a need to, let's just not mourn this person. We celebrate this person's life because we're so fortunate to have been a part of their lives. And I want to be that person. And I think that most of you do, whether or not you want to admit it or not. I'm just that person that, you know, I'm bold enough to admit things that you want, that you won't, right? And so therefore, just take the time to check on yourself. Thank you guys. Have a lovely evening. Peace out. Peace and blessings. I love you. Please like, subscribe, and leave any comments you have. And you guys have a lovely and beautiful day. And come back because I have a birthday coming up in a couple of days. Yay, yay. Happy birthday to me. Yes. All right.